you say you study your man, right?
Of course.
So, and you got intuition. Women got the women's intuition,
Of
right?
course.
So why, when men are unhappy in a relationship, y'all intuition don't tell you that this is unhappy?
I love
what
when
the
y'all
fuck?
bring up these social media quotes.
No, y'all bringing up the social media
We know.
intuition.
I know personally when my man isn't happy. Any man that's watching this that has been in a relationship with me already know the vibe.
Call your ex.
Call him right now.
Call him right now.
Oh, God. Do it.
He probably will pull up right here if I tell him to come right now. Let's call him.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Daily Wrap Up Crew. No book of, I go by the name of Eli. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, The Real Y Eli. As always, we got Ace with us.
Yes, indeed. Your boy Ace the GOAT. Can't let this pass. Your boy Ju not here because he ain't ass.
Nah, that ain't it. That ain't now. Nah. Yo, anyway, we got some special guests in the building. Ladies, let them know where they can follow you at.
Hey, guys. It's your girl, Tia B. You can follow me on Instagram, tia.b.
My name is Bria Pierce. You can follow me on Instagram and YouTube, bria.pearce. Link in bio to purchase my prayer journal. Yeah, go check it out.
My name is Kyra Kane. I'm a rapper. I'm from Brooklyn. My Instagram is Kyra Kane Music, and all my other social medias is the same. I have a single out right now on my body. Check it out on iTunes and everywhere that music is streaming.
You Caribbean?
I'm Trini.
Okay. I felt like I heard the accent for a little, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo.
Look at you. Recognize the accent.
I'm trying, man. Listen, make
I'm
sure y'all
happy you
hit
got the right one.
listen, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if y'all not already subscribed. Cop the merch. I mean, Ace ain't got the merch,
It's
but you do
black-owned,
got a
man.
black-owned business on. Like,
Black-owned,
shout out to
you know.
black-owned businesses, man. Make sure I listen to the podcast audio every Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. I do want to ask this question. And I thought y'all was gonna have one of y'all other friends on, so I wanted to really ask her this. But since y'all here, I want to ask this question: what do y'all think is the cultural perception of Black women? And do you feel like platforms like Now That's TV or Zeus help contribute to that image or that perspective of Black women? What's your thoughts?
The perspective of Black women.
What do you think the cultural perspective of Black women is?
Like what Black people think of Black people?
Just what the world thinks of Black women right now.
I think the perception is definitely changing. I definitely think, people think, we can be loud, we can be ignorant, but I feel like if you really focus in on that, I feel like platforms like maybe like Zeus, I don't really watch too much, but from what I've seen from clips on TikTok, it's like a setup to be those type of people, you know what I'm saying? Loud or just, like we don't come correct, all the time. So I feel like, TV is a place where people push narratives. So if you're pushing that narrative, then yeah, that's what it's gonna look like. But I'm around a lot of like, Black women that, that come correct, So my perception may not be that, but like, I can see how that's pushed out there,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. So my problem with it is that there's no balance. So like everybody loves a good ratchet TV show, but where's the balance of like the educated Black women that are like, because now I think Black women are like one of the most educated groups in America. Like, why aren't we seeing both? So I think like because of the narratives that are being pushed in mainstream media is part of the problem, because they don't just show the other side of it too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I agree. I definitely think you don't see a lot of women that carry themselves with a sense of decorum, because that is the narrative that everyone wants to see. Everyone wants to see somebody fighting, the drama. No one's really being a girl's girl. Everyone's being catty, but it sells, so that's what you're getting. So you're going to get the snippets. You're going to see that. You're not going to really see the camaraderie or the sisterhood. And when you do get it, it's rare and you enjoy it, because most of us, we really got a good group of friends. They solid. But when you get crazy, it get crazy.
It get crazy.
But it's not a day-to-day thing. Like, I don't think anybody truly lives like that. So a lot of people got to separate reality from reality TV. Like, the truth
Yeah.
You say you got a good group of friends?
I absolutely do.
How long y'all been friends?
I got a few groups of friends, you know.
Okay.
Different groups.
I
for
really
different
do.
things.
But my longest relationship, hold on, so maybe like 24 years.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And then like my core group of girlfriends I met out of high school.
Yeah.
Hold on, I can't do math. 16 years.
Okay.
So
That's a blessing.
And
no
birthday dinners got in the way or nothing.
Oh, girl.
we've had birthday dinners. We've got into bros and AC. We've done it all, like seeing each other at our lowest, at our peak. And right now, you know, life is really just life, but we are always there for all the important things. One of our girlfriends moved and we all sent the gift and we all couldn't fly out because everybody was doing so many different things. And, you know, we just all show up how we can.
That's refreshing to hear. Y'all the same too?
So yeah, I think I have a solid group of girlfriends, but there are the little straddlers that came along the way that shit didn't really work out because like we weren't on the same, you know, frequency, I would say. But I think like those things are like often revealed through like trips. And like trips is a big one. Like so like one of my homegirls, so I'm from Trinidad. So every year I'm going to Carnival. As long as I can walk and I'm breathing, I'm going. So we took her to Trinidad. She wanted to go with the rest of like the regular group. So it's the straddlers and like the regulars. So the straddler like was fighting with everybody and just being so combative, and we're just not like that within like the regular circle. So like that was one situation, but because I travel a lot, there were other situations where the same thing happened. So I'm just kind of like, okay, you can't travel with everybody. Like, you know, your solid friends that you know, okay, the finances are good. Everybody could pay for what they need to pay for. You know, they get along. Like, it just doesn't happen with any and every friend. So I think like having friends for like different reasons is also important.
For sure.
Yeah, I think. I always say this: the female friendship dichotomy. It needs to be studied. I swear to God, like you know what I'm saying. They need to make a documentary on this because it's so fascinating. It's just so fascinating, especially when I hear about the girls' trip, the birthday parties, and the little things that is to men is very minuscule, but y'all will lose friendships over this shit. I'm like, it's not even that deep to us, like you know what I mean. But then again, when we'll say men don't have as deep of a friendship or whatever the case is, or a bond or whatever. Ace, going back to the topic, what's your thoughts on the cultural perception of Black women nowadays?
Yeah, I agree with what the lady said. I think it used to be portrayed as like the ghetto, loud or whatever, but I do think it's making a change. As far as perception, but in the media, I don't know if it's changing because I still see the same things, but I remember like back in the day, they used to have like girlfriends on TV and they all had solid jobs like doctors, lawyers and everything. Like you don't see the balance no more. But I do think it's changing because Black women are the most educated. They get into the bag, you know what I'm saying? And they always say on the show, you know what I mean? Shout out to them, man.
Shout out to the Black women.
I think I do think in the media there is a negative portrayal of Black women, just like there is a negative portrayal of Black men. I think the over-sexualization, the narrative of the angry Black woman, you know, I think those, you know, these are stereotypes, but obviously if they're being pushed in media, you know, we as Black people, we understand the differences, the nuances, like, you know what I'm saying? We know every Black person is like that, but if you from the, I be looking at like sometimes people outside races looking at Zeus, or they looking at what are these clips online, and they're seeing the worst of the worst, or they're listening to our music, seeing the music videos, and they're seeing the worst of the worst depiction of our community. You know, of course they're going to develop some type of stereotype, you know what I mean? And that's how we keep perpetuating these stereotypes amongst other people, or when groups look at us, oh, they don't know nothing besides just twerking or gangbanging or whatever the case is. So I think, like you said, there does need to be that balance. But unfortunately, media like only works in a negative. People only like to see negative. Like, you know what I mean? We see that with our podcasts all the time. When we have the productive conversations, they don't do as good. But once many you have a wide Eli, the motherfuckers are sharing and liking, and it's just like these platforms, like the negative stuff always like this goes viral. People want to share it more. People feel more attached to it. They want to engage more. They feel triggered by it. You know what I mean? So, you know, that type of stuff does tend to, you know, headline the media and stuff. Like, nobody cares about productive relationships. Like, you know, like, I can't relate to that. Like, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, you know, so.
Some people do. Like, some people care about that stuff. Like, there are certain platforms that I won't even follow because it's like, it's constant negativity. So it's like you're constantly feeding your brain, especially like me. I do spend time on social media. So I think like a person that's individual gets to that point of like, okay, like I understand what social media does, and I want to sort of like feed myself better and more. I think people will begin. And I think that comes with age, and I think that comes with experience, you know. So
yeah, but the age, I think it does come with age, but at that time you're already tuned into your own thing, so you're not really even engaging with the content like that. So like people don't even, like, I know productive, like healthy marriages, but they're not on social media talking about how good their marriages are. Like, so you don't even know they exist. Like, you get what I'm saying? By the time you come to that realization of maturity, you're already off the social media that at this point, it don't even resonate with you. You're not going to share the content anyway. So that productive conversation that you watch, like, you most likely not going to share because you already have your own thing. So that stuff doesn't get pushed into the media like that. Like, you know, I tell people all the time, what social media works is very simple. Like, you know, engagement, views, engagement, and shares is what pushes the content into the algorithm. You get what I'm saying? So when people say, yo, why am I always seeing this? It's because you're engaging with it. Like, you know, even you engaging with the comment and saying, damn, this is, take away the microphones or whatever. You still engaging with it. It's still pushing it into the algorithm and it's going to see more. You. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so whether y'all don't like it or not, like, you engaging with the comment, whether it's a positive or negative, it's still going to push it out into the algorithm, and then more people is going to see it. You know what I mean? So,
but I think it also goes a little deeper than that, right? So, like, for instance, the narrative of like angry Black women or strong Black women, rather, that affects us in like a lot of ways. Like, people tend to think we're like super women. So, like, you know, they're not as anxious to help us. And you could see, like, in the United States, like, when it comes to maternal mortality and stuff like that, Black women and brown women are dying in the hospitals because, oh, yeah, she's fine. I remember, like, Serena Williams or somebody had an issue where she had, like, a blood clot, and she complained to the nurses, and they were just kind of like, ugh. But so, like, the question is, if she was a white woman, would she have gotten the help? She almost died, and she's a successful Black woman. So I think, like, the narrative of, like, strong Black women, it like really affects us in real life. You know what I mean?
It does.
This is true.
It does. Like, I had an incident. I was in a pizza store, and some guy, some tall, you know, he was a Caucasian man. He started yelling at me, and I could tell that, like, he thought, like, I was about to be reactive to him. And I sort of, like, shrunk down as a person, like, to show him, like, I don't know where you got this from. Like, I don't know why you thought, like, it was okay to, like, yell at another woman, because I just knew he wouldn't yell at the next woman like that. But it was just, like, the moment he seen I wasn't going to go back and forth with him, it was, like, he was sort of left with no choice also to, like, just back up, you know, treat me with respect. But I feel like as Black women, it may not always be like this yelling thing, but I feel like we feel that in other ways, like in the hospitals, you know, where it's like we can do whatever, you get what I'm saying? She's strong, you get what I'm saying? She's gonna fight back, you get what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, it's not like that. It's really not like that.
I think words have real meaning, right? So, you know, we talk about this on the show a lot, but when Black women have this mantra of I'm strong, independent, and I don't need no man, that has been the mantra of a lot of Black women for the last like 20, 30 years. Like, you get what I'm saying? So when you put those words out into the world, then the world is going to look at you like, oh, you strong, you independent. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right, but like I said, words have meaning. Like, you know what I mean? So if that is your mantra or your image as a Black woman, that you don't need anything, you did it on your own, you independent, or whatever the case is, people are going to treat you like that. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's like Superman going around saying, I'm strong. People going to look at, you think people would look at Superman like he need help? Like, no, they going to like, nah, he's Superman. Like, you get what I'm saying? So
well,
like,
yeah, I don't think it's, yeah, I was, go ahead.
Because I was just going to say, like, just because you show up and you have this confidence, right? That don't mean you don't need help. Now, I may not ask it because I may feel like you're not going to give it. But if you show up for me in ways that you've never shown up before, it's like, okay, I feel seen. A lot of the times as a Black woman, you work harder, right? And to show up to, like to get your foot in the door, to be a part of the room, to be at the table. And it's just like, listen, you fight battles every day. You fight battles every day, behind closed doors, at work. So it's just like, no, in your most vulnerable state, like what she was saying about the hospital, I've experienced something similar. It's just like, why I have to act a damn fool to be serviced properly? I'm not in here being dramatic. I'm in pain. I'm saying I'm in pain. Figure it out. Help me figure it out. I didn't go to school for this. You did.
Right.
So it sucks. It sucks, but you know, we're getting better. One thing I think I love the most about us women, you know, we advocate for ourselves, but not even just ourselves. Yeah. We advocate for others.
Everybody.
Like, that's another thing. Majority of the women, Black women I know, we show up for everybody, regardless of your race, regardless of your sex. Yeah. And we're not shown the same respect or support.
Yeah, to y'all own detriment. Like, you know, that's interesting that you even bring that up, because I seen an article about, you know, trans women and things of that nature. And I always say this: the biggest supporters of trans women have always been biological women. It has been biological women. I've seen a ton of Black women vouching that trans women are women. But now when they dominate the spaces, now women are upset. But I'm like, y'all are the biggest advocates. There ain't no man going around saying trans men are, like, you know what I'm saying? We know, like, there's two different things. So I think sometimes that can be a detriment to y'all, that y'all fight for everybody. And then when everybody is in, they get the access to things that y'all don't get to. You know what I mean? Like,
I can agree to that.
I can definitely
first,
agree
I think
to
like we need to break some things apart here. So first of all, Black women aren't strong because we woke up wanting to be strong. A lot of times, the Black man is absent from the home, right? Whether it's because he's arrested, he's dead, or just sleeping with everybody. So like a lot of homes don't have a man, don't have a father. So what are we gonna do? Just like roll over? No, we gotta become everything that our children need. So a lot of like women that are very strong, and it's inherited now, because it's kind of like, you know, that's what we saw our moms doing. So now, you know, what are we gonna do when the man walks out? We have to provide for our kids. So we have to be strong. We have to be mom and dad in a lot of situations. So I think like, yeah, we can say we shouldn't walk around like being strong, but we have to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I definitely think I do see Black men get put down, you know, in the media, but I think really understanding like the role as a leader, because it's just like, yeah, like we could do, you know, say Black women are strong, you know, but it really starts at home, like she said. It starts in the house. It starts with that Black boy, you know, growing up without a Black father, and it becomes a cycle. You know, of course, you know, every generational curse can be broken, but it's very important that that foundation, you know, that begins at home, like begins to be more solidified, like in our community, you know. I mean, even to go as far as to say, like, you know, just more active older cousins, you know, active uncles, you know, that's so important. Manhood's so important. Like, I grew up with a lot of women in my life, you know. I have my mother, but like even the extra woman support, you know, like was filling in gaps, you know. Even with my father, like the other males in my life also filled in other gaps, you know. So it's just like community is so important, and we need a better community, you know. I mean, we're there, we're getting there, you know, but community is important. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we always talk about community, how big that is. I think we have to get out of the age of everybody wanting to be independent, and we have to go to terms, use words like interdependent. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, people don't even know that's a word. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I think everybody's so focused on being independent that we don't know how to be interdependent with one another. Like, you know what I mean? I think Black men, we don't have that luxury to say, man, I have my father in my life. I don't know how to be a good leader. Society tells us, nah, y'all got to figure that shit out. Like, nobody's going to give you that out, like, to be like, yo, I didn't have that father figure. Like, you know what I mean? So sometimes I feel like with women, we tend to give them a lot of excuses and luxuries that we wouldn't apply to Black men. Like, you know, we understand the man wasn't in your house. We understand that you had to be raised a certain way, but that shouldn't come at the expense of the Black men next to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I see women all the time, like, me and Ace and Jew, we pride ourselves on being a productive Black men. Yeah. When we constantly run into the women that look like us saying they don't need us, or they don't need a Black man, or they independent, like, that type of stuff has an effect on the community. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think we just need to get back to community-based. The nuclear family is important. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, like I think everybody needs to stop being like against each other. It's kind of like it's so divisive, and it just doesn't work for like the future generations. You know what I mean? So like I see a lot of people online like bashing men, women bashing men, men bashing women, and like there's this whole big single pool. And
it definitely has piss in it.
It is.
It's we need each other. It goes together. It's not one without the other. I cannot procreate without a man. A man cannot procreate without me.
Right.
It's a joint venture here. And I feel like we need to get back to that because somehow it got lost. And, you know, a lot of our grandparents were married and like probably still married if they're alive, you know, till death really did them part. But nowadays, shit.
It's all systematic. Like, it's all systematic at the end of the day. They want to keep us divided, you know what I mean? And that's a whole nother topic we get to. But let me get to this next topic. I feel like whole show talking about this shit. Like, yo, is polygamy a realistic or beneficial relationship structure in modern society? What's your thoughts on that?
That's not real.
You don't think so?
It ain't real?
I feel like
it's real for the flesh, but it's not real. It's not. There's no stability in that. You know, we talk about we just moving from community to talking about. You know, this is just like there are standards when it comes to community. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't build a family with 2 men or 2 women in the home. You get what I'm saying? You barely can do it with a teenage daughter, you know, and a mother in the home, you know. So it's just like there has to be balance, you know. There needs to be balance. And I don't believe involving so much, you know, other people's spirits. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen. I don't even like people standing over me when I'm cooking. So yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen.
What's your thoughts?
I just feel like whatever works for that relationship because it's not a one size fits all. I'm not saying that I will be in a polyamorous relationship, but if it works for you, it works for you. It's almost like with marriage. Some people don't want it. Some women or men do, and they put in that work for it. So if you're putting in the work for your relationship, whether it's 2 men, 2 women, whatever your preference is, like, cool. But for me, if I was in that, it's just like, how do we show up for each other, I guess. Listen, I'm already about 22 people by myself. I don't, but I just feel like, I'm like, listen, I don't know if I'm going to like you tomorrow, but I like you right now.
I don't know. I think like the original way that polygamy was supposed to be structured was supposed to be like to create self-sufficiency within a home, like within like the communal living. So it should be like, okay, let's say I'm a therapist. She's a doctor, he's a lawyer or something like that. We can, you know, pool money together and like create businesses and create like a
purpose.
Yeah, a purpose and like not needing to go externally for anything. So we get to keep all our money and like, you know, build generational wealth and all this. But you want to get Barquisha from down the block, you know, and bring her in because you're trying to smash.
That's not going to end well.
You're trying to smash. Like, you know what I mean? I think now everybody popularized it just so they can have more sex.
Men
more access.
I will agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
I said now that I agree with.
I do agree. Ace, what's your thoughts? Because you are a
He's
guy.
smiling.
Polygamous Ace.
Them wheels are
Am
turning.
I polygamous?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you have the option to be, you taking it. That's what it's giving.
Sure. I mean, like she said, man, it's really supposed to be like a team. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody working together to create the goal is generational wealth. So as the economy is going down and the cost of living is going up, you know what I'm saying? It's harder for one person or 2 people to support a family and build generational wealth. Yeah. So when you add that extra income, that's more money that could be saved. That's less stress on each person. You know what I mean? So it's easier for everybody to carry that part of the load. You know what I'm saying? So, but most men do look at it in a sexual aspect. But I mean, when you look at it as a whole, it's not a bad idea.
It can work.
And
do you think women like are emotionally like stable enough? Like I know some real emotionally stable women. Mm-hmm. Like, do you genuinely think like the longevity of it? Like, do you feel like this is like I know you said purpose and like building and community.
No, it takes a very mature woman. I ain't gonna lie to you to even accept another woman into her home.
So you think mature, not emotionally stable? Because those
I
are
mean,
two separate things.
I mean, that's part of being emotionally stable requires some maturity to it. You know what I'm saying? So I do think it takes a very mature woman to look at the bigger picture. And women always saying that men always cheating anyway. So I mean, you might want to look at that option. But at least you know. At least you know where it's going.
I don't know. I think the women do need to be emotionally stable, but I think the man
for sure.
has to be.
He has to lead.
He has to be something to be able to get me to agree to that. There's some sort of convincing that you need to have, and also emotional stability and intelligence, because a lot of men lack emotional intelligence to even have one relationship. Now we're talking about 2 women, 1 house, 2 periods every month, syncing up,
hopefully
emotions up to the roof. How are you gonna deal with that emotionally, Ace? To have 2 women.
How are you going to navigate this?
Like, I really want you to answer that. Like, what do you think it takes to be able to have that type of relationship?
Like I said, maturity. Very mature. And that's on every part.
Listen,
it can't just
I promise you, Ace is only thinking about sex. I know he is, bro.
I think you're right.
Bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I do agree with you. It takes a special man and women in order to make it work long term, because y'all got to be on the same page.
You got to be equally yoked.
I think you have to be intentional.
It can't be jealousy. You got to understand how women work, and you got balance. It takes a lot to do it. You know what I mean? But when it comes together, I think it's the way to go.
Oh my gosh!
Yo, can
Let me know how it works.
If both of the women are not like, if both of the women are not like bisexual, or they're not like attracted
they gotta be.
Do we have to be attracted to?
So wait, that's not polygamy. That's like polyamory. It's 2 different things. Polyamory is like everybody's together. Polygamy is like you have separate wives.
I mean, in the traditional sense, yeah. I mean, that's not how it's working out here. Like back in the day, they used to have like separate houses for each wife, and I mean, that's not happening out here. unless you got it like that, then cool. But I mean, I do think that that is interesting. I ain't gonna lie.
Because if a female is not interested in another female, I don't see that working. Like, not even a little bit.
Let me ask you a question. You seem like you would be in a polygamous relationship.
Why are you pointing at me out?
Because you was very knowledgeable about this motherfucker. Like, you know
she looked it up.
I'm knowledgeable about a lot of things.
Right. I see. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm asking you, would you ever entertain that?
I can. If it's the right man.
And do you like women?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Not in the sense of like I would be in a relationship with a woman, but I could definitely be teammates. But it has to be a certain type of man, like I said earlier. First of all, financially stable, emotionally stable and intelligent. Also, you have to be a good planner. It's a lot of things that go into like, having such a relationship. And I think like women can be so explosive and so emotional about things, and you have to have that masculinity that's strong, that's firm, that can like regulate, because now the women might have issues. Then they might have issues with you. So now like it's like an extra layer of like relationships that is within a relationship. So you have to be something special for me to
that just sounds like a lot of energy.
It is. I think
it's definitely a stars aligning kind of thing. I ain't gonna lie. Like you really got to meet a special woman and then meet another special woman. Like for real.
That should sound rare as fuck. But I do think there does need to be more information about like how that dynamic does ultimately, a successful dynamic, polygamous dynamic should work, because now we know about it, but we don't have as much information. So people might be turned off about, I'm not sharing my man, or I'm not sharing my woman. Because guys, we talk about polygamous shit all the time with guys. They love the idea of two women.
What about two men?
I think it's only this hard in America though. Like you go outside of America, this is happening. Like
you think it's a standard?
It's
What?
a cultural
happening
thing.
with them
I feel
knowing
like,
that,
like-
and, like that's the question. Like, you know what I'm
if you
saying?
go outside of America, like Africa or whatever, they have multiple wives already. You know.
however,
also
they
are
can
wealthy.
sustain those households.
Yeah, for sure.
No one's going there with $1 and a dream. Let's be clear.
She's-
So that's why it
Facts.
works.
All
But
right,
I
so-
feel like one of my girlfriends, for example, a relationship structure like that works for her because she knows herself.
Mm-hmm.
She'll tell you go fuck somebody else straight like that
Why would she tell you that?
because she don't want to fuck you. Like sex isn't really isn't her thing. I promise you.
You said sex not really her thing.
No, like when she wanted, she wanted. When she don't, she don't.
Oh,
They used to have parties.
Mhm.
This is what we
Oh,
and
Okay.
she might leave like throw that ass back or whatever, and it just worked for the moment. But for her, she would be with another woman and her man.
Mhm.
She just have to have the say on who this woman is because they need to deal with her personality. The bitch is nuts, but
Yeah.
she come with her own.
Mhm.
Like she's the epitome of. She is the rich nigga, but so is her man. So got two power heads, but she will be submissive and all of these things. She's like, listen, I want to cook and I want to do this. You can go do this, go get the kids. It's gonna work.
Mhm.
So they just never found a person that like meshed. So
Mhm.
they just enjoy their little parties.
Okay.
I ain't mad at
But
that.
You might have to tell her to pull up on the show.
Word.
You know more about
when
this
she
lifestyle.
back in the city, I got y'all.
All right. I appreciate that. Let me get to this next because I was going to say I agree with pretty much everybody. I don't think a lot of men I don't think that a lot of men can handle that type of dynamic. Like, I'm be honest, I struggle with one woman like trying to manage,
Right, like-
manage true emotions. Nah, it's a lot of work. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
are
I think, but like I said, I think
Yes,
most men just
like-
think about it from a sexual aspect. They like the idea of having an option to have sex with two women. Obviously, men's sex drives normally tend to be higher than women's sex drives. So that's why it always looks like a plausible option to most men. But I don't think they take into the consideration all of the other aspects that go into that type of relationship.
Right.
And I think once they realize that shit, or once they get into it, then they're like, nah, this shit too much. Like, I ain't gonna do. Y'all both give me a headache at this point. Like, you know what I mean? So
I mean, I haven't heard negative reviews from these relationships though.
I've seen them. Trust.
Oh, they never last.
So you
What
have
do you
friends
mean?
in these relationships.
I don't have a lot of I don't know a lot of people, but I do know one in particular that got two women that know about each other. And
They know about each other.
Yeah.
Did it
How long
start
have
off
they
like
been
that?
together?
All three of them?
Yes.
Him and the first girl, they've been together, I believe, like 6 years before they brought the second woman in.
Okay.
And it's been 2 years now.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So, no. So when they met,
Yeah.
was she on that, or did it transform into that because of something else? Because then we're talking about two
Yeah.
different things.
Was she on like I want a girlfriend type?
Like when they originally met,
Uh-huh.
was she like, oh, like, yeah, this is something I could do in the future? Or was it more so like
I
it
don't-
happened maybe because possibly, there was cheating and it was like, well, shoot. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Because then it's like it turns from like, this is what I want to like
Mm.
settling.
What it was
Right.
was I don't know if they thought about this in the beginning of the relationship, but he
Right.
had a conversation with her like I guess like midway
He got me at that point. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if
You
that
went
went
over there.
balance. Do you get what I'm saying?
and
Yeah.
she was very much on board though, because
Okay.
she was like what she's describing with her homegirl, like she
Mhm.
was open to that kind of thing already. So
Right.
she was on board with having another woman brought into a relationship, and they just met somebody that they both meshed with,
Okay.
and it's been 2 years. It happened over the pandemic, like
Oh, okay.
so they was together like all the time and shit, and it
Oh.
just
I
turned
mean,
into
the pandemic
Yeah.
will do it. Like, motherfucker, like
if you can
that check
survive
ain't hitting the same way.
That's what I'm saying. If
Like,
you can survive during the pandemic, you got it. You know what I'm
Gotta put
saying?
we gotta put them
I don't know.
PPP loans
I haven't
together.
gotten
Like,
good
you know what I'm saying?
reviews on this type of relationship. The reason I know is because I do know people that has tried it.
Mm.
Right. One of my friends actually, their relationship broke up because one of the girls wanted to be more with him and exclude the other girl on something.
Emotions.
And then like during like their birthdays, finances wasn't like in the right place. There was just like a lot going on.
Mm.
And they kind of like teamed up on him.
Mm.
And like that they just broke up with him.
I just imagine like, and obviously I'm just talking about the sexual part. Like if I finish with one of the girls and not the other, is the other one gonna feel some type of way?
Of
Like, you know what I'm saying?
course.
Like, yo,
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
like,
Oh,
it's
that
a
is
lot
the-
of me,
We forgot a major aspect of this.
What was that?
Can you sexually please
Yeah.
more than one woman?
And financially, like Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that
we
was
said
like
but
the
we
foundation of it. Because
Right.
you can't have.
Can you get it back up to go again? Can you? That's a key
What, you asking
component.
me? I can.
They gonna pop that blue cheese.
Yes,
Like, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I get to see little stuff like that, especially with. That's why I say women are, very emotional. Like, you know what I mean. So I can see that being an
You
issue.
might have to not finish it.
Yeah, you can't finish. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, her pussy better than
Y'all
mine.
good? All right.
You fucking her a little
Go do
bit
your
too
thing,
hard. Like, you know what I'm
right?
saying?
All
Like,
right.
it's just you eat her pussy a little too good. You ain't eat my pussy. Like I get to see little shit just being like just annoying.
That's the maturity aspect of it.
Yeah,
Like
for
you
sure.
can't just be petty. Like I mean, you might have to take turns. Like I finished this time.
It just sounds like
Like a lot.
Yeah, it's
fatal.
for sure a lot.
It's
You
a
know what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
confusion.
Right. I've watched a lot of those documentaries. And some of them really genuinely started off like someone was cool. I don't know if y'all watched it, but I did watch a lot of those growing up. And it started off cool. We cool. He kicking with her too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, not too much.
So do y'all think that most relationships the man has the highest sex drive?
Yeah. Like not all the time, like you know what I'm saying, but yeah.
Like 80,
yeah, like
80,
I do
85.
believe men just have more of like I feel like there's women like, that can, couldn't go, but I do feel like men like they're like a little more eager.
Because on the
you know
prior
what I'm
show we had a talk about how outside pussies is easier to get than in-house pussy, right? Because we had married people talking about they ain't had sex in like
a lot of men
8 months.
sexless
And-
8 months.
Like,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right now.
So it's like women be not forcing, but putting the
walk on
pressure to be
eggshells.
in a relationship or a marriage,
Mhm.
knowing they can't sexually keep up with that man. You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
wait. So first of all,
Mhm.
the only reason some of y'all get married is to have access to like full-time pussy. Let's be
Live
real.
in, okay?
A lot of
Get married for that.
times.
Like-
A lot of times. All right. I'm
Uh-huh.
not saying that's the only reason,
Uh-huh.
but in your head,
Yeah.
I'm getting a wife. I'm about to have pussy
And
every
these
day of the
times?
week. That's what you think.
Uh-huh.
Like that's
Yeah,
a
for
thought
sure.
you have. Like
sure, yeah.
that's
But
my wife.
I'm not
I can
gonna
have her
stop you,
whenever I want.
Kyra. But in the same breath, though,
Mhm.
like if I want it when I want it, so if he wanted when he wanted it, it's fair game.
I mean,
However,
mhm.
I could agree. I could see the dynamic shifting when you first dealing or dating with somebody and when you're in a relationship, because now, say I'm pissed off at you, whether I wanted it or not, just to be a bitch, fuck you, you're not getting nothing. Like, I've done it.
It's
We
now,
all have
it's
done
now
it.
linked to the emotional aspect of it because
That's
with
what it's the
women,
part.
okay, I said what y'all are looking for, right?
Yeah.
With us, we see you as somebody that's gonna provide certain things for us.
Right.
So you're gonna provide like that stability that I need emotionally.
Mhm.
And I feel like when you guys tap out of that, we kind of like tap out of the sex. It's kind of like, a give or take.
But it could be something as simple as he ain't take the trash out today. He ain't getting no pussy tonight. Like, what,
Okay.
Don't touch me.
It's just back to like marrying someone that's like emotionally stable. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to use sex against you. And a man that's not going to use, finances against you. Because y'all do
a
that.
man can't
Men
use
can-
finances because
can't
that's
use
my
it,
house
yeah.
now. So if I don't pay the bills, we both out on the street. Like,
We're
what
not
you
even
mean?
paying the bills, but like the extra stuff.
Right. Now you can't get your nails done now.
You know what I'm
right?
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
It's the
Yeah,
little
it
thing.
becomes very petty. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yo, Keem, let me ask you this question, right?
Mhm.
Why do some men view their own cheating as acceptable, but in
Why
relationships
you
with
asking?
you're a man? I can't ask them. They ain't men.
Yeah, you said, why some men view they cheating as acceptable?
Acceptable, but want to end a relationship when their partner cheats.
Wow, me personally, if a woman cheat on me, she gone. It's good.
Mhm.
Like, cause
That's crazy.
I think of it.
Your heart don't feel good?
If my wife cheat on me, I know the faces she make, the noises she make, and that's all I'm thinking about. Like, so you was with this other nigga making these noises and these faces? Nah, like I can't. I won't be able to take it back. Like I always say that women stronger than men in this aspect because I don't know how y'all do that shit. But I think
They want
I
a
think-
million,
Crazy,
22
like-
chances.
I think-
Right.
I think the reason that is more acceptable in society is because women are like known as more emotional cheaters. Like if they cheat with somebody, it's because they genuinely probably like that person or they see something in that person that they like. A man could just be like, damn, that shit fat. Like, you know what I mean? All right, I'll be good for the night and I'll be back on my girl tomorrow and not even think about her. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it's more accepted.
There's some women that's savage out here.
Yeah, for sure.
No, for sure, yeah.
That's just as savage as you. So if that's the case, let's say it's a woman that she don't give a. She just got her back blown out,
Yeah.
boom, and she's back to you. Is it still that much of an issue for you if she didn't emotionally cheat?
I don't give a fuck. Like, I already said, like, yo, if I find out you
cheat,
going,
like-
like,
So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
good with like the double standards. You're good
Right.
with living your life like in that type of way.
I always say if the person cheat,
You're
that's
out.
you're out. Whether it's a man or woman. I tell you, if my sister was to come and tell me that her boyfriend cheated, I'm like, I'd get rid of that nigga. Like, you know what I mean? That's across the
But-
board.
Right.
Do you expect your girl to forgive you if you
I
did
don't.
cheat?
I'm not expecting it. She do, cool. She don't, then all right.
Do you view her different?
For taking me back.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
a
do you
good
feel like,
question.
ooh, I'm about to do it again?
It might
Get away with it once. I can probably get away with it again.
It
like,
might. It might depend on how she take me back. Though.
You
Like,
see,
if she-
and that's crazy.
And she was just like, okay, don't do it again.
You might want to
That's
sit
it.
down
She
there on the
cheated.
side.
She
got-
cheated
Because
if that's
she
the
going
response.
You gotta make me work a little bit
Yeah.
more than that. Like I gotta bring flowers. I gotta do something.
Like if I'm not singing
yeah.
R&B music,
Yeah, I gotta be outside with the
Like,
boom box
yeah.
or
Yes.
something. Like, it can't just I just don't do it
Yeah,
again. Like,
Right.
Cause
Would
then
you-
I'm like, huh?
Would you think she's cheating if that's the response?
Yeah.
I would now.
Oh, you better speak for when I open.
Absolutely.
I
because-
would now.
That's-
Like,
Yeah, I think a lot of it just comes down to just men just have more standards when it comes to that shit. Like women, y'all need to stop taking these niggas back.
That
like, what the fuck
hurt.
wrong with-
No,
like,
that
what are y'all
hurt.
taking this nigga back for the 18th time? Like, nigga, like what? Like, if y'all, I think if some women just have more standards and just
Yeah.
don't tolerate this shit,
Yeah.
niggas probably would do it less often.
but
like,
hear me
you
out,
know
hear
what
me out, hear me out, right?
I think.
In every other aspect of life, you get a break, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You go to work, you get a lunch break. You know what I mean, you go to gym, you get cheat days. You know what I'm saying? Why are you expected to be in a relationship 24/7 for how many years
That's
and you
what
don't
you
get no
agreed
break?
to.
Because that's what you
Because it's
chose to
perfect.
be
Look
in.
at that. Like
If you didn't want to be in a relationship, don't be in one. Be single and sleep
maybe
with
I wanted
whoever
to
you
be in
want
a
to sleep with.
relationship when I asked you, but then you've been getting on my nerves. I need a break. Like, I mean,
Everybody
I
need a
think
break. You gotta do the
breaks
work.
is
Oh, well.
I ain't gonna hold you. Keep the fuck boys coming out.
Right,
Like,
right,
yeah.
right.
You're like, come on.
Right.
yo, like I said, they be trying to withhold the pussy for stupid reasons. So like, nigga might not want to put up with that shit.
But
you know
even
what
when
I'm
the
saying?
girls aren't, like, men still out here cheating. And I did
Nah.
hear you with the
Mhm.
standards,
Mhm.
you know. I think that also comes to a community. But I do see a series, even on social media, like,
Mm.
of, like, men low-key trying to, like, indoctrinate women to,
Mhm.
like, accept it. And that's also, like, pushing a narrative, too. Like, you know, there's women really going around, and this is me, like, oh, my God, all men cheat. I don't think that. I don't believe that.
Mhm.
But I feel like when you set the tone for that, you know, I believe that'll happen. You get what I'm saying? That could be your life. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But like, I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
think. What was you gonna say?
I was about to say, I don't think all men are cheaters, but
Mm-hmm.
and I don't just think it's men. I think it's women too. 'Cause
Yeah,
women be out
absolutely.
here, women be out here cheating too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the
just think
statistics say
Yeah,
women be cheating
more than
niggas.
men, right?
What
I'm saying,
statistics?
listen,
Why you
Black
got them
women don't
statistics?
cheat.
Out there,
We
like,
can
Let's
bring it.
pull it up.
We gonna pull it up several
Pull it
times.
up.
A lot of shows.
Right.
I mean,
Black women don't
we gonna pull it back.
Right.
What?
We good.
Matter of fact, insert it right now. Like,
Yeah.
like,
I just think that
I want to know the source. That's important. If it's Wikipedia, like, no.
it ain't Wikipedia. I got you. It was a Harvard study. I
yeah,
think
the
it was.
Harvard study or something.
Oh,
But,
that's really.
And
It's
we have.
probably true.
It's crazy because when we bring up the stat, then women be like, well, women are better cheaters than men. Y'all know y'all better
Mm.
cheaters. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like.
We're not
so-
Absolutely, absolutely. Like,
no, it's just to be or no, you know, women were just.
If you
We're
know,
just-
you know.
If you know, you know,
Yeah.
you know.
y'all just what?
That's it. If you know, you know. That's
My
it.
bad.
You
No,
guys
it's
keep
bad. We-
we
continuing
say
to
this
cheat.
all the time. Women
and
are
the way you
better
are.
cheaters. I just think women are better detectives than men. Like men ain't, for the most part, men ain't doing no detective work, trying to go through your phone, trying to fucking find your passwords. Like women actively think y'all detectives. Y'all think y'all Batman
But
and shit like
sometimes
that.
I
Like, you
just
know what I
come
mean?
to
No, let me tell you something.
Sherlock
First of all,
Holmes.
as a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
I study you because I need to take care of you. So I need to know everything about you. If your eyebrow raises the wrong way, I know something's off just because of my intuition that's formed to nurture the relationship and your children.
Yeah.
So we know things automatically. Y'all think you're so slick,
Mhm.
but by the time I call you and your background is different from work, because I can hear it based on like the same thing I just told you,
Mhm.
I already know something's up. So the investigation happens because of the intuition that already is nudging me like something's going on.
I got you. So you say you study your man, right?
Of course.
So And you got intuition. And the women got the women's intuition,
Of
right?
course.
So why, when men are
Gotcha.
unhappy in a relationship, y'all intuition don't tell you that this nigga is
I
unhappy?
love
Like, what
when
the
y'all
fuck?
bring
Like,
up these social media quotes.
no, y'all
know.
bringing up the social media
We
intuition.
know. I
Like,
know personally when my man isn't happy. Any man that's watching this that has been in a relationship with me already know the vibe.
Call your ex.
call him right now.
Call him right now.
Oh God, do it.
Do it.
He
Hold on
probably
a
will
minute.
pull up right here if I tell him to come right now. Let's call him.
Ding, ding, ding. Call
What
that man.
He's in a different
Nah,
country.
he
in a different country. Like,
yeah.
No, seriously
Is that your
though.
intuition?
No, he's somewhere else. But anyways, no, seriously, I personally, I can't speak for all
Bro.
women, but I take care of my man. They're like, I've never been in a relationship where I didn't do that. So I can't relate to that. And I think a lot of us are really good women in relationships. Like a lot of us, yes. I mean, on this panel, I could tell you right now.
on the panel. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I can't relate to like somebody saying, I can't tell when my man isn't happy. Of course we know. Sometimes we don't care. You know,
y'all just don't care. Okay.
no,
okay.
It's
Yeah.
a reason, but no, you don't
Based
just
on
care not
what
to
you
care. Though.
did. Like,
Yes,
you could have done something that hurt me, and now I'm feeling like, you know.
So every time a man is
Some
unhappy
type of way.
in a relationship is because of something he did to a woman? Is that what you're trying to say, baby?
Not all the time, but a lot of it has to do with it. I know that, like, in relationships, when a man is complaining, because y'all is simple. I can tell you right now some of the things you like. You like a good cooked meal, right? You like your dick sucked.
Women struggle with cooking nowadays. Keep going.
We don't, like I said, good women on this panel, we cook.
The three.
All right?
I could.
You want your dick sucked, right? You
Yes,
want
ma'am.
a lot of sex. You want peace and quiet. You want to get on your video game sometimes or like just chill and like not be harassed and watch your little sports. It's that simple for y'all. So like if there's something else that you're unhappy about, it's usually because your woman is nagging. It's either she's going through your stuff and you're annoyed by that. It's either like something is happening with your woman that's making you unhappy in the relationship if you have all the other things that I just mentioned. Do you agree?
I think it sounds good because you're trying to prove a point.
I'm not. I'm telling you my
I don't
life.
think we do podcasting for a living. We talk to women for a living. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't think that narrative that we try to paint women as being these angels and they don't never do nothing wrong and they never like, I think that's false and I think that's a
I didn't
detriment.
say that though.
Well,
Yeah, but you saying that the three women up here, now you trying to use these three women to justify all women. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of men. We got bros that's truly unhappy in their relationship because of their woman. It's not nothing they did. It's their woman just ain't want to satisfy. They don't want to cook. They don't want to do this or whatever the case is.
All the
And we
things
keep
I just
trying to-
mentioned.
We keep trying to excuse them being unhappy. Well, what did he do to her? Maybe he did. Like, we always put the responsibility back onto the man. Like, instead of holding that woman accountable, maybe she actually is just not being receptive in a relationship or whatever the case is. We don't never think that as a possibility. Is always, what did that nigga do? Like, you know what I mean?
He needs to reevaluate his relationship.
I
That's
was
not
just-
all of the relationships.
Yeah.
Who want to sit and be miserable? Like, all relationships go through things. So, like I say, I may like you today, I might not like you tomorrow. But what work are y'all both putting in? So if he's the one now being the person that's complaining and nagging all the time, and she's not being receptive to whatever he is saying, then you might have to consider your options. Either you leaving or she risking him cheating.
But
But
it
I
goes back to like men being less complicated than women. I told you that because with women now, to make me happy, I don't even know what I need sometimes.
I could
You know what I
agree with
mean?
that.
Like I'm just cranky today. I don't know what's going on. I'm PMSing. I just yelled at the parking guy for giving me a ticket. I'm just explosive that day. I'm not really in touch all the time to like why I feel that way. So women are way more complicated. So usually the problems in the relationship stir up from something that you did.
Sometimes I feel like
How the
It
fuck
was
we
the-
get-
You just said you don't even know what you want, but it's my fault.
I didn't say that. Sometimes there's things that offset
You ain't just
a
said that.
woman Like I said, we're complicated. It's a very complex thing.
You said
Like-
you don't even know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, sometimes.
Right.
Okay,
So how the
sometimes.
fuck that's my fault?
I never
Because
said
I
it
feel
was
like
your
if
fault.
you're my man also,
Get
I
over
feel like if that's the, no, stop, come on, not too much. I feel like that you're gonna know. Even like she said, if she's being complicated, I believe like the man and woman, like the purpose and why we are two different genders is because your man's gonna know. I've had men that knew why I was being complicated before I knew why I was being complicated. That doesn't mean I'm like in my right for being like complicated and explosive and stuff, but it's like it is complicated.
It is.
It's not
you having
just
a day. Like, you're just having a
So
day.
having a
I gotta
day.
treat you like a toddler.
Excuse me?
That's what
First
it sounds
off,
like. I gotta
wait.
figure out what's wrong with you. Even though you're an adult and should be able to communicate what's wrong with you.
I feel like you gotta
And
lead.
even though
You
y'all
gotta
been online
lead
saying
me.
y'all the most
Emotionally
intelligent, and now
gender.
We're
Now,
intelligent.
I gotta-
We are.
I don't think women are walking around saying we're the most emotionally mature, but we're intelligent.
You just have days.
That's-
Everybody
you
have
see,
their
you guys
days.
look at things always on an extreme end. I'm telling you, like
Because-
some days. All right, I'll give you an example. I PMS.
Mhm.
I didn't know that until the person I was dating started clocking it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, your period is coming in 2 days.
Yeah.
That's why you're explosive. When you're experiencing the emotion, because we're so full of like emotions and like hormones, sometimes we really just don't know like what's triggering us. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's things as a man that you do that triggers your woman, period. For instance, if you're out late, you with your boys, you're not answering your phone, you know, stuff like that. There's other things that you could do that triggers it. But there's some days that's just difficult being a woman. We're just way more complex than you guys are.
And I can
You know what I
like
mean?
just compare it to like I feel like when men are like when they don't have money, like y'all may not realize it, but y'all like men
Angry.
are nasty.
Wait.
You get what
Not
I'm saying?
nice
Like,
at all.
Are
y'all-
humans in general not more like, I hate when they say
Women-
just women are not angry when they broke?
It's a different type
So
of.
y'all happy to be
we
broke.
not
like,
happy.
No,
we're not
no.
happy, but you guys are like.
Who the fuck is happy to not
You
have
guys-
money? Like, ain't nobody happy to not have money. It ain't just a man thing. Like,
But you guys handle it different. Just how we handle those PMS and like those emotions differently. You guys handle the financial aspect completely different. You guys are mean. You know, you guys are mean. And you may not notice it, but you guys are mean. So yeah, you know, and we may not notice it, but we a little mean. You know, we a little cranky.
Mhm.
So I feel like, you know, if you're gonna thug it out with that person, you just gonna end up thugging it out with that person or you not. You know.
So when does the emotional immaturity kick in for women, you think?
I think when you date the right dude.
Oh.
'Cause I had-
So the guy gotta teach you it.
No,
Excuse me?
I think I learned from a
From a
guy,
guy.
like she said, like someone clocking
I appreciate
me.
you
I
keeping it
learned.
real.
Like I learned and then to like I'm gonna take that to the next, you know, relationship and apply it. And I'm definitely more
So
like
on that note, who would you say is the more emotionally mature gender?
I'm sorry, y'all, but like a male is definitely more mature. Like my ex used to tell me, like, you be so zoomed in, and I used to be deep into things, but he was like so zoomed out to me, like it's almost like he didn't care. So, but it's like, yeah, men are definitely way more. My father, you know, the like, calm down, Bria, it's not that serious, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, but intelligent,
Mm-hmm.
wise,
Mm-hmm.
graceful. You know what I'm saying?
It's us. Yes.
And I do, fellas, and these are the women that, you know what I mean, you gotta hopefully try to be in a polygamous relationship. Like, not y'all specifically, but you see how complicated them is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now you want to go into polygamy.
Imagine having two.
I think, I think there is an element where a man is supposed to, be that leader and help, regulate a woman's emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, in society, a lot of times we put too much emphasis on a man sacrificing his happiness in a relationship. For the longest, the mantra has always been happy wife, happy life. Nobody has ever thought about a man being happy. It's just like we have to always sacrifice our happiness in order for our family or for a woman.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that needs to be, changed. We always say happy spouse, happy house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think both parties need to prioritize each other's happiness without a man feeling like, damn, like, I can't be satisfied in my own relationship. I got to be in a sexist relationship. My wife ain't giving me my needs. She ain't cooking for me no more. We don't have women say they don't even cook for their man. She said, I won't cook for my man. I'll cook for my kids, but I won't cook for my man.
But
it's like, why the
Who
fuck?
said
Like,
that?
you know what I'm saying?
Well,
That's not the
they need to be
majority of
studied
black
that. I don't
women,
understand.
though. Like, let's be real. And
You said that's the what?
it's not the majority.
Oh, okay.
And also like that term that you use, happy wife, happy life. I'm not saying that's right, but there's a reason they say that. As women, we reciprocate a lot.
Yeah.
So like if you're operating in your high frequency as a man and you're doing everything in the relationship, you're okay.
Yeah,
He's over there shaking his head. No, I need to
If
hear
you're
these
doing
response.
everything in the relationship, most women, I'm not saying all, because there's still like the unstable women that would still, just be messed up or complicated. But most women, when you're operating in the frequency of providing, protecting, making me feel safe, making me feel soft, creating that environment, more than likely, I'm thinking of all the ways I could give you that and much more.
Yeah.
So that's where that kind of saying came from, like happy wife, happy life, because we're reciprocators. So if you're making me happy, I'm gonna try to like bring tenfold back to you.
Did you understand what I said about men sacrificing their happiness?
I
That means
understand.
that energy is not being reciprocated if he has to sacrifice his happiness in order to make you happy. There's no energy being reciprocated back. It's just like, oh, you a man, that's what you're supposed to be a leader. You got toughen it up, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not reciprocation to my eyes. Like,
But that goes back to they need to reevaluate their relationship because no one wants to be in a miserable or unhappy relationship. Sometimes people fall complacent, or they just settle, or you're just so comfortable with that person, you're just so used to it. At some point, sometimes y'all become roommates, and the spark is gone. And it's just like, no, I'm unhappy, you're unhappy. Either we're gonna work together to figure out how we can be happy together, or what I'm doing wrong, what you're doing wrong, what you can do more, what I can do more on. When both parties aren't truly in it, it's not gonna work.
And I do want to add to what she's saying. I feel like there's not enough, like, it's a lot of ego sometimes and not enough self-reflection where people ain't probably gonna like me for saying this, but the people you date are really people that's a reflection of you. So if you're battling this, womanhood and manhood in your relationship, like, it's probably because you still got more work to do. She got more work to do. Y'all really haven't really found like the truth of what being a woman and a man is, because it's not that complicated. We come together for purpose. So when you find that purpose, and I feel like you understand the truth, it's a little less complex than what relationships are being made to be now.
I don't know, woman and man, that shit is getting complicated. Yeah,
Like, it's not that
we can't even
hard.
define what a woman is no more. You ask women what a woman is. A woman is a woman who wants to identify as a woman. It's like, what the fuck is, like, we don't even know what the fuck a woman
truth
and a man
is getting
like,
lost. So it's just like,
That's because
hone
everybody
in.
removed like all the like things that women and men are different about. And like we have to have an honest conversation about that. There's some things that you're just gonna be better at. There's some things I'm gonna be better at. And this goes back to what we talked about earlier. I feel like it just needs to be a team.
Right.
And so if you are a man, like before you start dating, the first thing you need to do is solidify your finances. It's to make sure you can provide for a family, so you're not constantly having this 50-50 conversation or wanting something external of yourself. That way, whatever your woman brings, it's additional. And then you get to operate in your full capacity because you're already there. You don't need anything else to add to that. And I think like men that get into relationships at that level don't have these type of conversations about like, is my relationship going right? Because he has the pick of the litter. He can choose who he wants to be with.
Yes.
Because he, he's operating at his full potential.
I think with that type of man, though, that's when you're dating with intention. A lot of times, men and women aren't dating with intention. You're just dating because, oh, he look good, she look good. It literally lacks a foundation, a lot of the relationships. So now two people are going into it blindly, and you might really realize we're just not compatible. Like, I really don't like you. No, I don't like you. Like, the sex might be good, but I don't fuck with you like that.
Right.
But when you date with intention, it's a better outcome.
So what is the breakdown for, you broke down what a man should do before dating. What should a woman do before dating?
So I think I like to use myself as an example, but I'm an island girl. So I was actually born there. So like I might have been raised a little differently from like, some of my friends or like some of my peers or whatever. But I've been taking care of my brothers. of my siblings, my cousins, my family from since I was like 7, 8 years old. So I know how to cook. I know how to nurture somebody. You know, I know how to be emotionally available because a lot of times y'all deal with so much on the outside and you just want to come home to some peace and quiet and to somebody that you can, you know, talk to and get a little rub on your head, you know, stuff that you don't want your friends to see, you know. And I think there's a lot of women that are capable of giving that emotional intelligence to a man and giving the love and affection and nurture that he needs. But I feel like the complications with everybody trying to be against each other, like often, you know, deters a lot of good relationships because it's like, oh, I don't need her or I don't need him. Or like, I feel like that narrative is doing like a lot of damage to like good people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good men. There's a lot, but he mightn't look the way you want him to look. You know?
True.
So like, or he mightn't have like the dominance that you're looking for, or, you know, he might be missing some sort of element. But I think like if people come together and like try to make relationships work and like try to be equally yoked, and I mean like somebody that has the same amount of emotional intelligence or close, you know, that likes affection. I know some men that's their mom never even told them they loved them.
Mhm.
And I was like, whoa, like in my home, that's a thing. Everybody's like, love you, hugs, kisses. So I can't be with somebody like that because now, you know, it's just not going to work because the dynamics are different.
Right.
Interesting.
And
You
it's
guys
not
love
our job to
differently.
like, it's our job to like help, you know, but like not
Answer
teach.
your question.
Didn't answer my question,
Oh,
but
okay.
like,
What do you mean? What a
because you
woman
answered it from
brings?
your perspective. I want to know what would you tell women to do?
To be a nurturer, I answered. So let me be direct.
Mhm.
To be a nurturer, to cook for your man, like that's so important. I don't know how some people don't enjoy cooking for their man,
Mhm.
but I love to like give my man a nice big plate. You know, serve him a nice plate after a long day, because I see how happy that makes you.
Mm.
And then, like, you know, it makes me happy later or whatever. You know, I think you should definitely have sex with your man as much as you can. What else? I think that you should be emotionally stable and like a soft spot for him. So I think those are some things women should bring to the table.
Okay. Like, I mean, it might be because it's the island girl in you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, but you give those are solid qualities. Like,
Yeah.
you seem like you understand at least the simplicity of men, even though we do have more needs than that. But you definitely got that part under, like, you know, on lock.
So let me ask you a question. Why you think you single?
How do you know I'm single? You didn't even
Damn,
ask
like when the
that.
fuck, like when that happened, like
You single?
No.
Oh,
what the fuck, like this nigga, like yo,
I just wanted to know,
inside
man, because
information,
she sound amazing. Wait, so you was about to call your ex and he's about to pull up and you in a relationship?
Well, yeah, because he lost me and he wish he could have me back. So he'll answer.
Okay, y'all communicate?
No.
Good answer.
Anyway,
No, but back to one point that I wanted to make also, like when men ask like what women bring to the table and stuff, I'm just like, do you know what a good woman could do for you?
men don't experience. You're assuming that men are experiencing good women.
Mm-hmm.
Men are saying they're not. This is why we are asking that question. I don't even want to go back into that. But again, you are giving women the benefit of the doubt and assuming that most women in society are good women. And why are men having issues? And men are telling you these women a lot of these women ain't shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I understand y'all are the exception. They are the exception in the back. But men have their own experiences with women that is very traumatic, and we just haven't been given a platform to talk about it until recently. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of men been through some shit. We got friends that been through some shit with women. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's no fault of their own. It's just some women are opportunists. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so again, men are saying like, if we have to do all of this, and a lot, what we hear women saying is, well, I'm not cooking for no man. I'm not, you know, I don't need no man. Like, it's like, damn, what realistically are you bringing to the table? That's what we're trying to ask. Like, because everybody in society knows what the fuck a man got to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? But now when we talk about, I know we had a topic and we got to get the fuck about it. We got to talk about gender roles. Everybody understands a man's gender role in a relationship. When we talk about women's gender role, we have plenty of shows. We talk about now their gender roles are interchangeable. Well, a man could do that also, or a woman don't have to only do that, but the man gender role is definitive. So now we are getting to society. Maybe this might be just in the States, you know what I mean? Maybe it's not like that in the islands, in Africa, wherever the fuck you at. But again, when we talk about women's gender roles, it seems to be interchangeable now. Like, you know, the cooking that you was talking about, now women expect men to cook. Like, you know what I'm saying? You do whatever, the nurturing part. Now, I want men to be nurturing and more emotional and stuff like that. So it's like, damn, what are you really here for? Like, you know, men are feeling like y'all just taking the resources and not adding any resources, not financially, just in general. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so.
I mean, I could tell you one thing that I it's hard for me to like understand where you're coming from because I think like a good wife or a good relationship, it actually adds years onto your life. And that's a fact. So a man that has a good woman, that's gonna be like, baby, you need to go get that checked out. Because, you know, as men, sometimes y'all look past simple things like, oh, my chest hurts. Let me drink some tea or whatever. And your wife would be like, okay, you need to go to the doctor, babe, and check that out. She'll probably cook you more meals than you eating out somewhere. So I think it adds on like 5 years to your life. Like,
it does add on more stress as well. we do got to get up out of here. Cause we can just go on forever. Again, let them know where they can follow you at.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at tia.b.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram and YouTube at bria.pierce and find you a praying woman.
And Kyra K Music on Instagram and all social media.
Listen, like, subscribe, get the merch. Oh, well, you got the get the merch. Join the membership, and we out of here, man.
Yes, sir.
Right.
That was good.
So